Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of From the Studio. I'm Corey Riggs, your host, and happy to be coming to you from our MC22 studio for yet another episode. Well, the coronavirus has taken so much from all of us in 2020. From over 100,000 American lives lost to weddings and graduation ceremonies and more. Everyone and everything has been affected, and so is sports. One event lost to us this year in the Ozarks was the 19th annual Sertoma Gridiron Classic. We here at MC22 decided to go ahead and celebrate this annual showcase of high school football talent, even though the game cannot be played. To do this, we'll bring you 3 interviews. First, we'll talk to Bonnie Keller of Ronald McDonald House Charities about the event's cancellation, the sponsors, and more. Then we'll speak with the 2 gentlemen that were selected to coach these all-star teams. Rich Rehagen, who just finished his final season as the Nixa Eagles head coach, and Ryan McFarland from the Seneca Indians. So, a lot to get to in a short amount of time. When we come back, Bonnie Keller joins us on this Gridiron edition of From the Studio.
As COVID-19 impacts our community, Metro Appliances and More continues to serve you. Although our showroom is closed, our business is open. Live chat on our website or call the store and speak to an appliance expert. Metro Appliances and More is committed to serving you safely. Even in uncertain times, Blue Current remains open to serve you. At Blue Current, almost all services can be completed from your mobile device in the safety of your own home. Visit our website for details or download our app. Blue Current is committed to building better communities together.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Gridiron Classic edition of From the Studio. I am now joined by the CEO and president of Ronald McDonald House Charities, the group that for the last 18 years has been organizing this event in Southwest Missouri. She is Bonnie Keller. Bonnie, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
Good, good. Well, we've been talking about being able to get this project off the ground for a while. I've been working with you for the last few weeks to find out what the future was going to be for the Gridiron Classic, and tell our viewers kind of what the process was like. I know the decision to cancel this event was not an easy one for you and your team.
It sure wasn't. And I think like we all thought that maybe by this summer our lives would be back to normal, but no such luck. We had chosen all the teams working with the High School Football Association, and so those honors are there and always will be. But it was simply down to the safety of everyone involved, the players, the fans, the parents, our volunteers. So we had to make that decision to cancel this year's game.
Well, 18 years of great all-star football in Southwest Missouri, and the coronavirus has taken a ton away from a lot of people, but hopefully we'll be back and be able to do this again next July and get a new string restarted. Events like this, Bonnie, don't go off without great sponsors. And when you have to cancel an event like this, I assume the immediate assumption is that those sponsors aren't going to be there. But you have some great folks supporting you that are still all in, even though the game can't be played.
That is so true. And number one, I would like to thank you and Mediacom for always being there, and especially this year, because you are allowing us to honor everyone involved, and we really appreciate it. Yeah. You know, the Heart of the Ozarks Sertoma Club is a co-presenting sponsor. They were in immediately wanting to help us out with a $15,000 gift for the tooth truck. And also Delta Dental of Missouri, same position, so supportive of our event. The Greater Springfield Dental Society is in as a leadership sponsor. They've sponsored this event every single year. Wow. So this is their 19th year. And then, of course, Youngblood Auto Group serving as a supporting sponsor again this year, which has been just great.
Well, I know that events like this can't be done without great sponsors, and I know it was very important for those people to stay involved because it is more than just a football game. But speaking still about the football, you all have made it clear in this entire time that you still wanted to recognize these young athletes. This is a game that is played with graduating high school seniors from all over Southwest Missouri and the Ozarks. So what are some of the things that you all are doing to still kind of recognize those players? Obviously, we've been working on the idea of doing this 30-minute TV show, but there's still a program, I understand, that people can get?
Absolutely. Our event program that we have every year, every single player's in there, their bio, their photo, the great football and academic careers that they've had. So the honor of serving as a member of a team for the Gridiron Classic is still there. That's available on our website at toothtruck.org. And then in the events section, you just look for Gridiron Classic and you'll see our event there. Also, we are printing our t-shirts that we normally have, and those have the rosters on the back and all of our sponsors recognized as well. And then local media has just done an amazing job, really just honoring those people that were chosen to play in the event.
Well, it's an honor for the kids to be chosen. It's an honor for the coaching staffs that get selected to be a part of this as well. We'll talk to both of your East All-Star coach and your West All-Star coach a little bit later in the show. But I'm so glad you brought up the t-shirts because I don't know how many of them I have in my closet now, but I have quite a collection going. So I still need to go ahead and get one more. That way I don't have a break in the string.
Yes, absolutely. And we are very much looking forward to next year being our 20th Gridiron Classic. And we hope that we can have a great event with thousands of fans in attendance. We hope that our world is a little bit different next year.
Well, JFK Stadium has been the host for a number of years. It's a great location, a great place to take in a football game. Obviously, we've talked a lot about football, but this is an event that for these 19 years has played two roles. It's done a great job of recognizing excellence in high school football for all these graduating seniors, but it's also a fundraiser for, as you mentioned a moment ago, the Tooth Truck. Tell folks what the Tooth Truck is and what it does.
Absolutely. The Tooth Truck is our Ronald McDonald Care Mobile here in Springfield, a mobile dental unit for at-risk kids that really have no access to dental treatment. And to give you an idea of the impact, in 2019, we helped over 1,600 kids, completed their treatment plan, and provided $1.7 million in dental treatment for those kids. So that's 1 year. And when you think about we're just about to celebrate 18 years of service, it's a huge difference for kids.
Well, it is a great thing that you do in this community, and you couldn't pull it off without a great team. We talk about these great football teams, but Dr. Sarah and her team are great. And I think you told me, are they about ready to get back to work?
Yes, this week they are back on the road, actually treating kids at Great Circle. And Dr. Sarah's been with us over 9 years. And so we are so fortunate to have had her with us.
Well, that is great. Bonnie, thank you so much for talking to us today. Thank you so much for what you do in this community, from the Ronald McDonald House Charities to the Tooth Truck to putting on events like this. What you do in Springfield does not go unnoticed.
Thank you so much. And thanks again for making this possible to recognize all the players this year.
It is our pleasure. She is Bonnie Keller, the president and CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities. When we come back, we'll have more from the studio in this Gridiron Classic Special Edition in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Judy Ballou, your host for Dishing It Up. I invite you to join me every week as we watch some of the Ozarks' favorite chefs come into the demonstration kitchen at Metro Appliances and More and prepare some of their favorite dishes.
This is fun for TV.
You
do sweet and savory together all the time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Watch Dishing It Up on channel 722 in high definition.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Welcome back, everybody, to this special edition, Gridiron Classic edition, if you will, of From the Studio. I'm Corey Riggs, joined now by one of the two head coaches that was selected for the 9th annual Sertoma Gridiron Classic. He had been at Nixa for the last 25 seasons. He is Rich Rehagen, and he joins us now. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing real well.
Well, I wanted to have you on to talk about this year's event, obviously taken away by the coronavirus. But before we get into the Gridiron Classic, give everybody a quick recap of how 2019 went for the Nixa Eagles.
Well, I felt like it was a year at Nixa where we really improved throughout the year. We started a little bit slow. We lost our first couple of games, but our team made progress throughout. I felt like they were kind of a younger group in some spots, and I felt like they really just made progress throughout. We ended up being 5-6. We made the district final. We lost a very good Carthage football team in the district final. But I felt like, it was a good year. And really the number one reason is we just made progress, and we just kept getting better. And, I was awfully proud of the group and the progress that they made.
Well, with everything going on in the world right now, this year's Gridiron Classic couldn't be played. You were selected to be the head coach of the East All-Stars, but this wasn't going to be your first trip to the Gridiron Classic. This is an event you're familiar with, right?
Yeah, it is. It's been one that as a coach, I've been lucky enough to, I coached in the very first Gridiron game. It was 2001. I was the defensive coordinator for Joel Wells in the game. It was the first time, and it was really exciting. Got to do that same thing, work with Brett Gosh when Brett was the head coach, I think maybe 2009, and I might have my year wrong, but it's close to that time, and I was a defensive coordinator. And then in 2010, I was the head coach of the West Side in 2010. And I've had great experiences with the game. It is awesome to meet all these kids from all the different schools and get the honor to coach them in this game, because you just don't, you watch some players on other teams and see them, and then you get to actually work with them and find out what really good kids they are. They're really good football players. You find out they're really good kids, and that they're really met some kids from some small schools that I've never seen play in those games that were really some good players. And good kids, and just overall, it's been a great experience through the years.
Well, you were supposed to be able to coach a couple of your Eagles one last time. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, we had Alex Wentz was going to play outside linebacker. Alex was a 2-year starter for me. He might have played a little bit of running back too, just depending on how it was going to shake out. He's a good player, a very solid player. A very consistent player. Just loved the way he worked for me through the years at Nixa, and just had a real nice career. And it would have been a good way to end it up. And it didn't happen, but that's the way it goes. Evan Long was a wide receiver for me this past year. Evan was a 3-sport athlete at Nixa, and he did not play football he played in 8th grade, came back out his senior year. So he really took, 3 years off, but he was a real asset to our football team. He was a nice wide receiver. He ended up getting honored, in the all conference and all district, and ended up being a 3rd-team all-state player, and was a good weapon. I just loved the way he competed. Would have been nice to work with him one more week.
One other player that might have been nice to work with, when you look up and down that roster, and I looked position by position and was going through the depth chart, and then I see the record-setting quarterback for Camdenton, Paxton De Laurent's name was on the list. I'm guessing you might have had a player or two that you would have liked to have seen him run.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of players on that list that I was really excited about, getting the opportunity to coach them. But, knowing what a career he had at Camdenton, and getting, I think he's going to Missouri State. That would have been real good to get a chance to work with him. But I know that just looking at that whole group, there were a lot of good athletes that were nominated by their coaches, and I felt like it was a pretty solid team.
Year in and year out, it's always some of the best talent in Southwest Missouri in the Gridiron Classic. Always so much fun to watch. Coach, before I let you go, I've got to ask, your retirement after 25 years at Nixa. I don't know what it is about you football coaches, but none of you seem to stay retired for very long. Trading in all that red stuff in your closet for green. It's going to look like Christmas in your closet now as you are heading over to Springfield Catholic and taking over the Fighting Irish. What are you looking forward to about moving from Nixa to Springfield Catholic?
Well, it's been a great run at Nixa, and a lot of great years, a lot of great, really good football teams, a lot of great memories of my time here at Nixa. And, I'm really looking forward to really starting a new chapter, and getting an opportunity over at Springfield Catholic. I know what I believe it or not, that's where I started coaching back in 1989.
Okay.
And I'm really making full circle. And it's just a great opportunity for me, and I am really looking forward to it. And know what a tradition they have, and I just hope to add to it and help. I know what type of football program it's been, and like I said, I hope to add to it.
Now, Sam Wutke and the crew over at Catholic, I'm sure, are very happy to have you in the fold. Coach Rich Rehagen joining us here on From the Studio. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back with more From the Studio, this special edition, here in just a minute.
Find your next car at ReliableSuperstore.com. Reliable Superstore is here to help with Toyota, BMW, Lexus, and Audi. Need service? Take advantage of our pickup and delivery. Reliable Superstore is here for you. Renew Crew is open and providing free in-person and virtual estimates for all your deck cleaning needs. Their team takes all precautions to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Give Renew Crew a call today.
Welcome back once again to From the Studio, everybody. We continue with this Gridiron Classic special edition of From the Studio. Now we are joined by the gentleman who is supposed to be one of the all-star head coaches. He is the head coach of the Seneca Indians, getting ready to go into his 5th season. He is Ryan McFarland. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Great to be here.
Well, thank you for taking the time to visit with us. Obviously, the coronavirus has had such an impact on everybody across the globe. It has done a lot to the world of sports. No Major League Baseball, no NBA, and now no Gridiron Classic. But let's start back a little bit. What was the 2019 football season like for you and your Seneca Indians? I know you had a couple of good runs in you where you won, 4 in a row a couple of times?
Yeah, we were very blessed this season. We had some very talented kids, and our kids played very well throughout the year. And being my 4th year at Seneca, our goal is to compete, for Big 8 conference championships. And we know if we can compete for a Big 8 conference championship, then come district time, we have a chance to win a district and, make a run to the state championship game. And, if you'd have told me last summer that we're going to be able to beat Cassville and Lamar during the regular season, I would have took it. And we ended up 5-1 in the Big 8. With a loss to Monette, and Monette was 5-1, but they beat us in a head-to-head matchup, so they won the Big 8 West this year. So I was very proud of our kids for that, because that was a big step for us. And being able to go to Lamar and win, and anytime we play Cassville, it seems like it's a big game and there's a lot on the line. So very proud of our kids for that. we lost to Mount Vernon during the regular season, but going into districts, we were able to beat Reed Springs team that, as a 5 seed was probably the best 5 seed in the state. We got a chance to play Mount Vernon again in the district semifinals, and we're fortunate to come out of there with a victory, which was a big win for our program as they were undefeated and state ranked. And then we got a chance to go to Cassville for a rematch, but this time at Cassville, and we played them well for about 3 quarters, but we couldn't hold on, and Cassville got the best of us that night. And then you watch Cassville and they go on a run and they play for a state championship. So season didn't end exactly how we wanted it to, but very proud of our seniors and our program for where we're at. Very proud of the way our kids played this year. And, we're competing for Big 8 championships, and hopefully that's just another step in the direction that we want to go for the future.
Well, you've got to have tough, talented kids to compete in the Big 8 as one of the toughest conferences in the state week in and week out. If this game had been played, you were supposed to have the opportunity to coach 3 of your players from Seneca one last time. Tell me a little bit about those young men.
Yeah, I had 3 really good kids that, I was really looking forward to the chance to coach them again. The first one is Trey Wilson, and, Trey's one of the more talented players in Southwest Missouri, and he was a 3-year starter for us at running back. And in his career, rushed for over 4,000 yards. But in 2019, he was really special, and he ended up being the Big 8 West Offensive Player of the Year, and ended up being an all-state selection for us at running back. The next one we had was Dathan Long. Dathan was a defensive end, wide receiver, and tight end for us. Again, he was a first-team Big 8 defensive end, wide receiver, and ended up being a all-state wide receiver, voted on by the Coaches Association. And then the third kid we had was Monty Mills, and Monty was our do-everything guy. He played running back and receiver for us, played defensive back for us, played a little bit of quarterback for us, and he was a first-team Big 8 all-purpose back and a first-team Big 8 defensive back. And, all 3 of these kids are great kids. And, when I got called and asked, the opportunity to coach the All-Star game, the first thing I thought of was, hey, that gives me one more chance to coach these 3 guys. And they mean a lot to me, and they mean a lot to Seneca football. And, we were disappointed not have the chance to get to see them take the field one more time and play one more high school football game.
Well, I'm sure when you looked up and down that roster, there were some other Big 8 players that you had come in and played head-to-head with over the course of the season that you probably look forward to the opportunity to be on the same side as them for at least one game.
Yeah, there really is. And, when you get selected, you start going through the process. And I'd never been a part of, this game before as an assistant coach. So I really didn't know what to expect. But I talked to some area coaches, and they gave me some advice. But, you start getting nominations, and you really start getting excited because, a lot of the players that are selected in the Big 8, we've competed against for the last 4 years. And, just to have the opportunity to, coach those kids and, the strengths that they have and be able to use those strengths to your advantage instead of trying to defend them like we've done for the last 4 years. The other is just area players. I mean, as a coach, we try to watch the area highlights and whatnot on Friday night, and you see all these players making plays, and, to have the opportunity to coach those guys and, guys from the area that you get to hear about and, was really looking forward to that part of it.
Well, Coach, one more thing before I let you go. Obviously, nobody knows what the fall semester is going to look like. We're not sure what we're going to be allowed to do and what we won't be allowed to do with football. But what's kind of the roadmap or the plan for the Seneca Indians this summer going into the fall to try and get ready to compete again in that very competitive Big 8 conference?
The first thing is, this week we got to get our kids back on campus. And it's the first time they've been on campus since early March. So. Okay. Just being around them and getting our players back together has been very beneficial for, I think, our coaches and our players this week. And, we're just going to continue to work hard and, go through the summer. There's a lot of unknowns. We're going to take all of our precautions we have to take, but, we're trying to get bigger, faster, stronger. And when we get into July, we'll start working on some more football stuff. And, we're going to prepare like everything's normal, like we're going to have a regular football season. And then when we get into August, we'll see what we have to do. And the number one thing is just, the safety of everybody and the people and keeping everyone healthy. But, if we get a chance, we definitely want to play some football this fall, and we hope that it works out well for everybody.
Well, Coach, you stay healthy this off season. Best of luck to the Seneca Indians in 2020, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Coach McFarland from Seneca. We'll come back and wrap up this special edition of From the Studio in just a minute.
At Orange Leaf, we're still swirling, just doing it a little different. Both Springfield Orange Leaf locations are open, offering crew serve carryouts, party box catering, curbside pickup, and delivery. At Orange Leaf, we're all about making life sweeter.
Kevin here once again for Seeger Toyota of St. Robert. Our service department still has drop-off and pickup available after hours, and pickup and delivery for you locally if you need assistance. We will make sure your vehicle is sanitized before being returned to you as well. That's from your friends at Seeger Toyota of St. Robert. We are here for you.
Hi, I'm Brett Johnston. Watch Soundcheck on MC22 for a look inside the Springfield music scene. Recorded right here at the Classic Rock Coffee Company, Soundcheck features an in-depth look at local bands with original music performances and sit-down interviews. Catch it on MC22, on demand, or online at mc22.net. From our stage to your living room, Soundcheck is your local music connection.
Well, that'll just about do it for this special edition of From the Studio. Remember, you can follow this show on Twitter at FromTheStudio22, or you can follow me at Corey Riggs TV. If you like, send us your questions, comments, or topic ideas. We'd love to see them. Our thank yous go out to Bonnie Keller from Ronald McDonald House Charities and coaches Rich Rehagen and Ryan McFarland for joining us to make this Gridiron Classic special possible. You want to stay tuned, high school football fans. The 2019 Gridiron Classic replay is coming up next. Don West and Shane Freeby have the call on this one from JFK Stadium between the East All-Stars and the West All-Stars. Some great names like Tyson Riley, Will Boswell, Kyle Draper, and many more all in action. So until next time, for our MC22 crew, I'm Corey Riggs saying so long from the studio.